Hello and welcome to AWS Certified Solution Architect course. In this series, we will discuss about VPC and its components. So what is a VPC? VPC means it's a virtual private cloud, and in simple words, you can say a private network provided to you by Amazon. So before 2013 December, um, there was no VPC. So what was happening, whatever the resources users were launching, it was like open, it was public. So after that, after some recommendations, what Amazon did, they created a default VPC. When you create a account in Amazon AWS, you will get a default VPC, and whatever resources you will try to create, that will fall in under your VPC. So the basic funda behind this is like on just like your on-premise environment, you have your private network. So your all the resources within your private network is protected, and you will decide what are the resources publicly you want to expose publicly, and who you are setting rules on firewall, who will access your resources and who will not. So all these security features, all these networking features will be provided by VPC. So as mentioned by AWS, virtual private cloud is a virtual network dedicated to your AWS account. It is logically isolated from other virtual networks in the AWS cloud. You can launch your AWS resources such as EC2 into your VPC. When you create a VPC, you need to provide the CIDR, the classless interdomain routing block for that VPC. So there is a range which you can provide CIDR block. The minimum range is /28 and the maximum is /16. This is the limitation provided by Amazon. So one more thing, as mentioned in this diagram, as you can see, your availability zones will be spread across VPC. So VPC will be spanned across your availability zones. Like if you have 3 availability zones in your region and you are creating a VPC, so all the regions will be covered by VPC. The VPC will be spread across your availability zones, but it cannot be spread across regions. So if you are planning to span your VPC to some other region, like you are in Mumbai and you want to span your VPC to Singapore, it cannot happen. In that case, you have to use some peering and all. Now let's go to this diagram provided by Amazon. It will give you a clear view what the VPC does. So suppose you have a VPC and you have created some subnet inside that VPC. One is a private subnet, another is a public subnet, and you're launching your resources into private and public subnet. So by default, the private subnets will be isolated from outer network, from internet. So it will not be able to reach out to internet, the instances in private subnets. However, the instances in public subnet, they have public IPs and they can reach out to internet, they can be accessible from internet. So in private subnet, if you want the instances to be accessed from internet, it cannot happen. Either you have to use some jump server in the DMG network, and then you can come to the private instances and private subnet. Otherwise, it's not possible. However, you can use NAT gateways or NAT instances to allow the instances in private subnet to reach out to internet for their updates and security updates and all. So apart from the security group, subnetting, VPC, CIDR, so we have something called route table. The route table defines whether the subnet is a private subnet or public subnet. So if the route table from the instance is pointing to internet gateway, then it's a public subnet, and if it's not pointing to internet gateway, then it's a private subnet. So you can change this route table for subnets. That's very easy. We will discuss that. We will do that in coming lectures. So right now I'm just briefing about how it works. So as you can see, the internet gateway will be at the edge of the network, and inside that your VPC will be there, and with each subnet there will be a router configured. And even if you want to create a VPN connection from your corporate network to VPC, that is also possible. We have to create a customer gateway, and then VPN gateway, and AWS gateway, and then VPN connection can be established. So these things now the subnetting is something like, if you have a CIDR block of /16, you can create subnets out of those smaller subnets depending on the need for IP addresses for that subnet. And one more thing, when you create a subnet, the 5 IP addresses are reserved by default in AWS. The first one for network address, last one for broadcast address. The address .1 will be reserved for VPC router, .2 for DNS, and .3 is reserved for future uses. As we discussed, we need to create a route table for subnets so that we can create, and by default there will be a route table created once you create an account. When you create account, a default subnet will be default VPC will be created with the CIDR range, and even you can use some VPC wizard for creation. There you can configure whether you want a public subnet, private subnet, and whatever requirements you need for your network infrastructure, that can be suggested in the VPC wizard. Now this deals with how to create VPC and all. So in next video we will do some practical. We'll see how to create a VPC and subnets and other things in networking. So thank you for listening. Have a great day.